So tonight's talk is not so difficult. Tonight's talk is quite easy to understand. But the problem is with that easiness, most of us, or some of us, will start to misconceive the whole idea about this Mettā. And that misconception, sometimes it can be like a virus, and then it can spread from devotees and to other devotees, and then it becomes a problem. That we'll see in a short while. So this one, we are going to look into the 11 benefits of the Mettā. Now, I'm sure many of you, if you have done Mettā thing, you will surely hear these things. But as I said, another thing is that because it's easy to understand, without going through a little bit more deeper, then we will take those things on the surface only. Then we'll see. And then it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem. Now, in the beginning of this Mettā Bhāvanā, I've spoken about the purpose that when we do Mettā, the noble purpose of this, to make this Mettā into something noble, is that we use this Mettā to develop the mind and to reduce the hindrances. When the hindrances is being reduced, we change it over to the development of insight so that we can able to develop higher, deeper, until we can end this samsara. So this Mettā becomes a very supportive, very useful, and very, in a way, it protects the development. It protects the mind so that the hindrances does not come in to attack too much. So these are the noble goals. The noble goals. But also, the Mettā also got its other benefits, which the Buddha also mentioned that. And well, later we're going to look into it. But the problem with a lot of lay people is that when you listen to this talk about the benefits of the Mettā, or even benefits of other things, then you take this benefit as your main goal, as your main thing. And that's about it. What about the noble development and insight and so on? That doesn't come into the mind. Because that is not what you want. The first noble thing is not what you want. You want happiness here and now only. Everything is smooth and nice here and now only. And then next life, future lives, samsara keep on going on. It does not matter. Everything is just pleasant here and now. And with that, with this understanding, with this misconception, with this misalignment, the whole concept of this development of the mind, then a lot of us have that mentality. And then we take what is the worldly advantages, worldly benefits, we make it into something noble, which is not. So at least your mind first, when you develop this Mettā, make sure that your mind is for the sake of getting out of this samsara. So hopefully you understand, at least on the beginning part of it. Then after that, we're going to look into some of the things that how it is like that, but devotees sometimes they twist it around it for their benefit, for their purpose here and now only. Okay? Okay, let's start off with the sharing of this one. Okay, can you all see? Loving kindness? Okay, okay, this one is loving. This is in Pali. This is called Mettā Sutta also. Mettā Sutta is not just only Karaniya Mettā Sutta, you know. There's also another Mettā Sutta in chapter 8, I think. Book of the 8s. But this one is in the book of the 11s. The Buddha elaborate book of the 11 because there are 11 things. 11 things in this sutta, and therefore they categorize under the book of 11. Okay. So, Mettā Sutta. Bhikkhus, when the liberation of the mind by loving kindness has been pursued, developed, and cultivated, made a vehicle and basis, carried out, consolidated, and properly undertaken, 11 benefits are to be expected. What 11? 1. One sleeps well. 2. One awakens happily. 3. One does not have bad dreams. 4. One is pleasing to human beings. 5. One is pleasing to spirits. 6. Deities protect one. 7. Fire, poison, and weapons do not injure one. 8. One's mind quickly becomes concentrated. 9. One's facial complexion is serene. 10. One dies unconfused. 11. One does not penetrate further. If one does not penetrate further, one fares on to the Brahma world. When bhikkhus, the liberation of the mind by loving kindness has been repeatedly pursued, developed, and cultivated, made a vehicle and what? And basis carried out, consolidated, and properly undertaken, these 11 benefits are to be expected. Okay? All right. So, good. So you see, these are the benefits that come from a proper development of this loving kindness. But the Buddha says that this one is properly developed, well undertaken, properly undertaken. Then you ask yourself, you have done 3 weeks. Have you properly undertaken it? Have you properly developed it? One of the things that is when it's carried out, consolidated, and all these things, that means it reach until jhana. It can reach until jhana, and you can able to reach. You can develop it sufficiently easy, sufficiently well. And then these benefits will come. Then these benefits will come. It may not come so clearly for all of it. Now, even some of you with these 11 benefits, even when right now you have been developed some mettā, perhaps some of the things you have already seen it for yourself. Even you haven't touched jhana yet. But these are like some of the temporary benefits that you can see it even when you develop within like a week or so. You can see it. One of the good thing is that, number 1, one sleeps well. One sleeps well. Here one sleeps well. It says that you can able to sleep easily without much of like insomnia. Because sometimes when we are doing a lot of things, a lot of duties, a lot of work, then at night when we sleep, it's so hard to fall asleep. And it's very difficult for us to fall asleep. It takes you sometimes an hour or 2 before you're able to sleep. And the next day you have to wake up on a certain time, and you find that it's very difficult for you to sleep, and therefore you don't have enough sleep. And when these things happen repeatedly again and again, then it becomes a health problem. It can be a mental health problem, and also can be a physical health problem. Sometimes one does not sleep well. One becomes easily irritated, easily angered. So here one sleeps well, and sometimes you can see the benefit almost like immediately after a number of days that you practice. We are not talking here about retreat, we are talking about just for some of you are just doing 2 or 3 hours per day only. But it's already, you can see some of the benefit that is already coming in. Now, because it can sleep well, then it becomes a misconception also. Because it changes your sleeping pattern. It helps to improve your sleeping pattern, and it helps, it makes you better. And then, therefore, you take this Mettā and you practice this Mettā is because you want to sleep well only. You're not talking about liberation and all that thing. It's just because you want to sleep well. And we can understand that because that a lot of time people don't sleep well. There are difficulty, many difficulty. And we can understand that. Well, and we've got something provided by the meditation, and you develop it, and one sleeps well. You've got to hold on to it very, very strongly. And that, as I said, it becomes the priority, your goal, the priority, the main thing. So this one, as I said, the misconception easily arises if you are not able to look forward further than this. So, if one sleeps well, then it's good. But then doesn't mean that all the time, It helps to improve, yes. Generally, it helps to improve your sleeping pattern, which is wonderful. This is good. Sometimes also, even in the retreat if you are doing this Vipassana retreat, purely Vipassana retreat, then you have to undergo a lot of pain, a lot of tension, a lot of pressure, and it makes the body very tight here and there. And sometimes when you want to sleep at night, sometimes, I can't say all the time, but sometimes you want to sleep at night, you felt that it is difficult to sleep because of all the pain and so on, a tightness here and there. But most of the time, because most of the yogis who I have known, because they are so tired, the moment they hit the bed, they're completely gone until the next day, 4 o'clock, 4:30, they wake up. But sometimes there are some have a difficulty of able to sleep. So here, sometimes when they have difficulty of sleep and also a lot of these things, then sometimes this Mettā can be very helpful. It helps to ease the body. It let go the tension. It clears the way on, the mind at least shift away from the suffering from a while. When you see a lot of Vipassana, you tend to see a lot of suffering. But here you shift the mind out, realign the mind sometimes to make the mind a bit more balanced and the body okay. Then you come back and sleep again, proper sleep again. Then the next day, and then you start off with Vipassana again. And when you do that, sometimes it can be very helpful for the yogi. So this one is especially in the long retreat. In the long retreat, it can be very helpful. So sleep, if you can able to sleep well, and then it gets better. You get your mind gets better. Your body gets better and easier to meditate the next day. Also when you're in everyday life, also the same thing. When you don't sleep well, you know that how difficult it is. So one sleeps well. So number 2, one awakens happily. What does it mean by awakens happily? It doesn't mean that you wake up, your smile is in your face already, with the joy is there. It's not necessarily that. It wakes up happily. What it means is that it wakes up and you can, you wake up without that difficulty and not as if not enough sleep, as the body is still tired and so on. This time when there's Mettā, and especially when you have jhana, so that time when you wake up, then when there's a certain time that you are supposed to wake up and you wake up, then you find that the body is quite fresh. Euphoria is quite good. Yeah? As if like it's not like so tired, and then sometimes you wake up and then you just want to roll on the bed, and then you just don't want to wake up, that type of feeling. So this time you awaken happily. That means you can able to wake up easily without much of a difficulty of waking up, because of sometimes maybe because of lacking of sleep in the night. And the wakes up happily also, it can connect to number 3 also, because one does not have bad dreams. And then sometimes during in the sleep, sometimes there are some people have to go through a lot of this restless mind in the middle of the night. The restless mind comes out, of course, with all kinds of dreams. It can be horrifying dreams. It can be work-related dreams. It can be conceptual dreams, imagination dream, or is sometimes you can able to maybe you think or maybe you think that you can able to see the future, and something is going to happen in the future, not the very kind of nice things that is going to happen. And then in the night, then you are restless. You're not having a sound sleep at all. So this type of thoughts may come in and then go, come in and go, come in and go, and then you cannot have like a deep sound sleep. So when you don't have that thing, then when the next day when you wake up, it's going to make you very difficult to wake up. That one does not have bad dreams. It does not mean that you have good dreams also. It's just that maybe you have a sound sleep without much of a dream, or you may have a dream but you cannot remember what is the dream is all about. You just wake up, you know you dreamt something, but you can't remember the moment you wake up. So it's not a very impactful dream. Or sometimes even it's impactful dream, it may be a good dream. It may be a good dream. What is a good dream to you? Then that all depends on how do you interpret it. Some people, if a good dream, then of course with that also they turn it into their lottery number. Chinese. They dream anything, the next day they go and buy that number. For example, if you dream of a car and somehow or another in that dream you see the number, the 4 numbers in the car. In Malaysia we have these 4 numbers, and also we got this one lottery thing. Also we have these 4 numbers, so people go and buy, buy these 4 numbers. Turn it into something that to bring you more attachment and more lust. So this is all how you interpret the whole dream. Now the thing is that you don't wake up because of this 1, 2, 3. So you sleep well, you awaken well, and you don't have bad dreams because of that Mettā and also because of the jhana. Now this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 11. All these 11 benefits, whichever Brahma Vihara you cultivate, it also will give you these 11 benefits. Not only Mettā only. Not only Mettā. Although it's fall under this Mettā Sutta, but in the commentaries, especially in the Visuddhimagga, it says that the benefit of compassion is also this 11. The benefit of mudita also is this 11. And the benefit of equanimity is also this 11. They're the same. So you have one sleep well, one awakens happily, one that does not have bad dreams. Wonderful. Number 4, number 5. Okay. One is pleasing to human beings. One is pleasing to spirits. Here the word spirits is not a very good, this one. The word here, it's the Pali word is amanusa, amanusana, amanusanang piyohoti. One is pleasing to non-human beings, actually, Is the translation is here is non-human beings. Whereas the Bhikkhu Bodhi here translate as spirits, because non-human beings also include animals. And it also may include the devas also, and also may include Mettas also. Number 6 and number 5 is different, Number 6 the devas protect you. This is one thing. But number 5 you are pleasing to other devas. But the devas does not mean that they protect you. There's a difference here. Okay? So here I wouldn't use the word spirits, but I would use the word non-human beings, because it covers devas or even brahmas, it covers Mettas, it covers animal also. Okay? So this one is number 5 is broader. Okay, let's talk about number 4 first. Here, this one, number 4, also, a lot of times, these devotees are also, some devotees are also very misconceiving and also misleading, actually. That's number 4. One is pleasing to human beings. One is pleasing to human beings. Why is pleasing to human beings? Because when you develop metta over time, you change your character into a much more better person. Your words, your action, and your thoughts, that means your intention, have the wholesomeness involved, wholesomeness connected with it, or metta connected with it. So over time, your character change from a horrible character, change into a more better character. And then therefore, when other people look at you, people want to deal with you, people want to kind of feel good when it's near you. But the problem is with some of these devotees, they come and tell me, they came and tell me, and I'm sure in future they will still come and tell me, some of them. What they'll say is that, Bhante, I've started meditating metta already. When I go to office, the person, my boss, don't shout at me anymore. I think my metta has penetrated into them, that they have changed their way already. They don't talk, they don't this one anymore. You thought that you were thinking that just because you develop some metta, your metta reaching out to them, and your metta have so-called touched them, and therefore they don't come and talk harshly to you or make you sound difficult. Very harsh tone and strong tone and angry tone. In that sense. So you think that your metta is working. You think But actually, sometimes I look at these devotees. I think it's the other way around. I think because you have changed your character, maybe you are a very terrible character, and then after that you develop metta, your metta become better, and people also treat you better. You think that you are the one, you think your metta can change others. No, it's not. Maybe it's you are the one who changed that. People don't come and this more giving you trouble. You don't see that you are the one who is in the problem. You are the problem in the first place. You think that other people is the problem. You think that you are the saint over here. You think that you are the holy one over here, but you never know that you are the devil. Actually, and you are the devil and then maybe you learn some metta, and then you change from a devil to a lesser devil, and then after that people will treat you better. Then you develop further, and then if you become better, people will treat you also better. No. Yeah, people will come. They came and tell me this every now and then. They thought, but of course. I wouldn't say that your Mettā is not strong. Maybe, just maybe, there are certain degree of your development, and then perhaps your Mettā have reached out, and maybe people change. Yeah? So one is pleasing to human beings because you have, in the long run, you have changed your character to a much more better person. Yeah? So therefore, one is pleasing to a human being. Okay, so you see the misconception. It's very easily to come in because that if we don't understand this Mettā, we will just take this Mettā as a worldly thing only. And when number 4, as I said, when you're pleasing to human beings, which is also is good because your life and a lot of things gets more smoother. You don't have to face with all people with a difficult position. But nevertheless, this Mettā thing, although you say you develop Mettā, is pleasing to human beings, but don't forget your karma too, your past karma. You have done a lot of bad deeds also, So maybe this life, no matter how much Mettā you give it to the person that's hostile to you, may you be well and happy, may you be free. For years you have given the Mettā to the person, the person is still hostile to you, still very difficult onto you. Because why? Maybe because your past karma, who knows? Yeah. Sometimes the family members could be that also. Anyway, so don't worry about your being pleasing to other human beings. What is important is that when you develop this Mettā, all this thing will naturally, it will come to you. Naturally, all these things will come to you. So no, don't worry about it. It will come to you. One pleasing to non-human beings. Now here, one pleasing to non-human beings. Here also, again, here there's a lot of misconception. Human being and in non-human beings here, the spirits, animals, devas, and so on. Now here, when you're a person who radiates Mettā frequently, whether in your sitting or in your daily activities, or when you go for walks, and when you're outside there, when you're driving, when you're in the office, wherever you are, when you frequently you radiate this Mettā, even there's one line or a few sentences or just a word or two, may all beings be happy here. Just a sentence here. But you do it with a kind of a sincere heart. You imagine that whether you can be seen or cannot be seen, you frequently when you do these things. Now, when you do these things, with your mind states in that, there are beings can able to feel your state of mind. They can able to feel your state of mind. So, for example, when you go to a forest and so on, you go to a forest and so on, and at times there are these forest devas. There are 3 devas, because they are earthbound devas. They fall under the Chaturmaharajika devas, but they are low bound. Some of these devas their life is connected with the tree. And when you go and chop their trees and all those things, you can hurt the devas or you can hurt their family, because the tree is supposed to be their dwelling, There's supposed to be somebody else come and hammer your house and destroy your house. How are you going to feel? So too the devas also feel that their trees and the places where they are staying, or even the rivers and so on, is their dwelling. So sometimes, for example, when I go to the forest, even as a monk in our Vinaya, we are not supposed to go in to harm to remove the trees and everything, because it's part of the Vinaya rules. So when I go to the forest, when I go walk around, I spread Mettā. Every now and then I spread Mettā. And also I tell the three devas or whatever, like, although I cannot see them, I tell them that I'm just passing through. I'm just passing through your place here. I'm not hurting you. I have nothing. I'm not going to break any branches or harm any trees or harm any bush or anything. My job is just to pass through only. So when I do that frequently, then when I come to that place frequently again, then they know that, okay, this monk, this man, he's not harmful. He's not harmful. Just let him pass. Let him pass. And fine, good. But there are sometimes I've seen people, especially sometimes hikers or so on, they go in with a parang, and then they like to open up new routes and new routes, and then they go and find all these things. And when these things happen, they're going to chop. And sometimes, unfortunately, if you chop off some of the places or some of the things belongs to a tree, forest, and they can be quite angry with you, and you're not pleasing to them. So because you come in and you destroy all their things and so on. It is said, I heard, in the past, whether it's true or not, I do not know. It says that at one time, this one devotee go and chop off some tree, in their own house. Then after that particular devotee, sometime in a short while later, it seems that he developed certain cancer. Then when they, this Chinese, we like to go and see the angkong, sometimes when these things happen, Then the devas, you go and see the devas and say, why is it happening? And so then the devas said that, because at one time we go and chop that tree off. Then the devas, that particular deva is not very happy with you. Cancer give you. Say it like that, whether it's true or not, I do not know. But nevertheless, it's good that we try not, for me, especially for us monks, we don't go and destroy all these places. Now, of course, you all love gardening one. Don't worry, don't worry. You learn to protect the trees, you can trim all this one is perfectly all right, But remember that there are also other beings that are using your plants also as part of their dwelling. It can be animals, it can be a small insect, or it can be even devas as is over there too. So I'm not trying to scare you. Then tomorrow you're going to abandon all your garden. Cannot. That's not possible. So don't worry about those things. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that as long as you have this Mettā, then it will be very good to you. You'll be pleasing to the devas. Because a lot of times when we travel different places, like there are earthbound, there are earth in the sense that they dwell in the open area, or some devas that earthbound devas, they are airbound, or they're flying around in their own realm, or there are also sea devas, or water devas, and some of these devas, they can be quite problematic. When we talk about that problem in a short while, they can be quite problematic. Now, one of the number 5 that is also I've heard now, one pleasing to non-human beings. Then some devotees say like that. You go practice more Mettā. After that, the Mettā will follow you back to your house because you're full of Mettā. You can practice more Mettā, they say. And then of course they start to scare you, in that sense. No. It seems like sometimes, for example, you give food to the dog, you keep on feeding the food to the dog, and then the dog may follow you back to your house. So too that they say that, oh, maybe you practice a lot of metta, metta here, metta there, metta everywhere. Then you go everywhere. The spirits or the petas or afflicted spirits, the hantu they come and join you near to you. No lah, they won't come lah. Don't worry about all those things. Because if they come, you're number 6. The deities will protect you, so don't worry. That's why there's a lot of misconception with this metta thing. So sometimes really when these devotees come and tell me, came to tell me these type of things, and sometimes you need a lot of explanation. You should not think all these type of things and so on. Well, they become. I tell them too much. Waste my time. Their minds, the mind is dense. You just don't want to listen to you. And sometimes, for example, there are also devotees that tell me, Bhante, when you do more metta, Bhante, our house, we don't need to lock the door. So we got this because we radiate metta to all the garden devas out in around the house, So all your door can open. No pencuri, no thief is going to go into you. Don't worry. And I says, but then we don't have to invest in the alarm system, no? keep your door open. Do a lot more metta. I says no. Don't overdo the whole thing. Don't overdo the whole metta. Even like number 7. Maybe like number 7, for example, when there's a beginning of COVID thing, beginning of this COVID thing and so on. And then when you have, and you ever heard, I've heard that, sometimes in a certain religion, they say that, no, my God will protect me. My God will protect me. My God, I drink the blood of somebody then I'm fully protected. I don't need all these things. I go anywhere without mask. I get no problem. The COVID will not come to me because I believe. I believe. Then all of them, after that, most of them after that, they get the COVID or they died and they gone. Sometimes in a certain religion, they mention all these things. I'm sure a number of you have heard before. Not too many in Buddhist, but it can come to a point if, let's say, if some of the Buddhists are too over faith. They're too over faith. Then they think that because I have metta, I don't worry, Bhante, you got all the metta, the COVID will not come near you. Siao. You can go, you don't need to go wear mask. Don't worry, Reverend. You do a lot of good deeds. All these good deeds, all this metta work, the metta, the COVID will spare you. If my mind is so shallow, I'll be dead and gone already, perhaps right now. No? But luckily, there's not many of these people that are there. But sometimes I've said there are people who are like that. There are people even in the Buddhist society, even in the Buddhist, in our society also, we have these sort of things. They overstep the boundary, of this metta thing, and then they thought that everything will not injure you or they will protect you. Or the metta will protect you in certain sense. Yeah. Now, also, deities protect one. Number 6. When the deities protect you, and there are certain deities and certain devas, you're like your garden devas. And your garden devas, how do they come about it? Perhaps the guardian devas may be somebody that's close to you. Not every devas is a guardian deva. Some devas are very nasty. That's why even the Buddha mentioned that there are certain chanting that we have, is to protect ourselves from all these nasty devas, difficult devas, and they can harm human beings and so on. And also they are part of this Chaturmaharajika also. So some of the yakas, for example, they can really cause a lot of problems to the human beings. So when they cause a lot of problem to the human beings, and then the Buddha gave the chanting Attanatiya Sutta, and when you chant it, you invoke the generals of the Chaturmaharajika, the 4 generals, and go and gautim the whole problem. So they can be quite nasty. So deities protect you. A lot of times when the deities protect us, we really do not know how they protect us. I haven't seen how they protect us, but I know that somehow or another in life, they may protect you from one way or another. Sometimes it may be like a few feet in between like life and death to you. And I've met this also. Just a few feet, my life will be like gone. I believe my towards my belief it can be a good karma, and also can be a good devas that protect you. And also some of you are also maybe like that too. Now we do not know how they protect us. We do not know how they protect us. Sometimes when you're driving and you go to certain places, your whole path is smooth. You don't feel anything is there. It's kind of like a normal drive. But you do not know that a lot of times your devas are protecting you all the way. Are protecting you all the way, and they are keeping all the unnecessary things, unnecessary condition to come to harm you. For example, there may be other cheeky or nasty devas is trying to give you some problem, and your garden devas in their own realm, they protect you. Then for you, oblivious to everything, you just drive here. Nothing. You thought that nothing happened. You thought that nothing happened, but they are fighting all in their own realm just to protect you. Sometimes you don't have to talk about devas. Sometimes within we human beings, how some of us able to protect some dogs or some cats or some animals, we do it in this way too. Sometimes, for example, there are human beings, and when there are animals, and then they got accidents and so on. Then there are very kind people take this animal to a vet or to a surgery and help them to overcome all this problem. Even without the animals knowing who, and by the time they can able to recover, they can able to walk again, they can able to fly again, for example, then they just flew off and everything. Perhaps they have gratitude in the mind, perhaps they have gratitude in the mind, but it seems like to them, they do not know who or what protects them, or who give them all the medical services. But we can see those things, as a human being, we can see those things. So too, there are devas are protector of human beings. Yeah, they protect human beings just like some human beings are protect to the devas. Some human beings protect the animals, not the deva. Some human beings that protect the animals. So too, there's some devas protect the human being in this way. They protect them in this way. So a lot of things that the devas have done for us, and we do not know. And also there are also the guardian deities of the sasana. They protect the sasana in their own way. How they protect it, we do not know how they really protect it. Sometimes these deities may come down, and they transform themselves just like a human being. They transform themselves like a human being, and they tell you, hey, sometimes, for example, you go into the forest, you walk, see, my God, where am I? I'm lost right now. I'm lost right now. Then you do not know what to do. You stay there. Then you walk for a little while. Then you saw somebody. Oh, thank goodness I saw somebody. And then you ask them, how do I go out from this forest? And they say, okay, you take this way, you take this path, you go there, and then after that, there's a branch. You take the right turn, and straight you will go out already. Oh, thank you so much. So you talk for a while, and then after you carry on your way, and finally you come up. Then after that, you ask, who was that? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It looks the same like you. It looks human being. It's just wearing the same thing. And then after that, you look around. It's no more there already. It's gone, Perhaps the devas may come down to protect you, to show you the way. Maybe, but maybe it could just be another kindred spirit or another kind human being. Then they tell you how to do all these type of things. So, once in a while, when I go for hiking, once in a while, I met with these type of people. They go to a deeper forest without a map, without anything, and they thought that, they got a path, just jalan, just hike, hike until quite dark already. They do not know. For me, no. I go in with a map, with everything. Although I go in alone. But anyway, the deities protect you in many ways. As I said, some of the deities, they can be quite nasty, they can be quite horrible, and some of the good deities, they can protect you. Number 7, fire poison weapons do not injure one. Now, really, number 7, I've not come across any form of, I've not come across with this yet. But there's mentioned that those fire or poison or weapons do not injure the one that we have abundance of Mettā. But just because you do this Mettā thing after a month, you don't go and try this, I have no guarantee for you. Please don't be too overzealous about your Mettā. You practice Mettā here, practice, and then you start thinking, you start floating, I don't know where you've gone. And then for some time after that, you come back in, it means the Mettā is still not that strong yet. So don't overdo this with fire, poison, or you can put a comma, COVID, or you can put a comma, other people, and so on. Just make sure you don't become overzealous about these things. Just because you practice, as I said, just because you practice a little bit, these things they're still able to harm you in a certain sense. Now, for me, I have not seen how the whole full nature of a fire, of poison, and weapons do not injure one. I really do not know yet this one. But I can say that please don't try it too much. Don't try this thing too much. This is the end of your life. Although there are some of the examples in the commentary mentioned about these things, how these things, it is even says that even the cow that's nursing the calf, nursing the calf, full of a motherly love, and then there's a hunter who shot an arrow to the cow, and then because of that Mettā, the arrow bounced off. That is mentioned in the commentary. It is mentioned in this way. But as I said, don't try this at home or anywhere. Don't try this at home or anywhere, or become overzealous about all these type of things. Sometimes, for example, there are also, I've heard, I got Dhamma. I have Dhamma. The Dhamma will protect me. The Dhamma, I've just surrendered myself to the Dhamma, and the Dhamma will protect me. I'm sure there are certain ways it can be done. But the thing is that sometimes I was thinking, the Dhamma give you wisdom. Then use this wisdom lah, use a bit of your wisdom also. Just as sometimes we thought that we go anywhere or we do anything, or when we are sick or whatever, then we have certain problems in life and so on, and we just surrender to Dhamma. Dhamma will protect me, Dhamma will help me, Dhamma will do everything to me. But the thing is that we become overzealous, over faith. Whereas when the Dhamma is supposed to give you wisdom and you are not using any wisdom at all, you just think that the Dhamma will protect you. Although of course there's a certain degree if you can able to remember the Dhamma also. Yes, but the thing is that is to help you to have a better judgment, a sound judgment between faith and wisdom. So don't overdo everything. Don't overdo everything. Sometimes I do hear from monks also. It says that the Dhamma, they work in their mysterious ways. Just like people in another religion says God also work in their mysterious ways. So what's the difference right now? But anyway, the thing is that when these things make sure that we use certain degree of our wisdom. We know that our Mettā is not that strong. Don't go and play with all these things. Fire, poison, or weapons. Number 8. Number 8, one's mind becomes quickly concentrated. This one is good. This one will be good for your meditation, for your further meditation, or for your insight. Because this one, when you develop it further and you can calm the mind down and you become proficient in your Mettā, it helps to reduce a lot of your hindrances. So, for example, as I said on last Wednesday, I think, I said, when I meditate, in early morning when the mind is not clear yet, the mind's a bit drowsy, sleepy, and because I'm proficient in the Mettā, then I develop this Mettā for that particular time. All the hindrances are all cleared. When it's cleared, later when I go back to Vipassana again, then I don't have much problem with the hindrances. So mind is easily concentrated. So this one, if it's going into higher, the deeper the Mettā, deeper into the practice and able to reach jhana, that will be better. The deeper that you go, the better it is. As long as you're not attached to the calmness and the tranquility of it. So you see, this Mettā thing, and also all the Brahma Vihara, and also 1, 2, 3, one of Mettā, Karuna, and Mudita, not the Upekkha, but 1, 2, 3. The first 3, it gives us a lot of peaceful and joy and calmness. And this is where a lot of times, if you are not instructed, not guided, then it's easily for a lot of the yogis fall into the trap of being calm and peaceful. And they trap into it, and it will, every time that you sit down, you will look for it, you will anticipate it, you will expect it. When there's expectation, that means there's craving involved. The craving gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Finally, later on, you become your conceit. Conceit later on becomes your wrong view if you are not careful. So this one, you got to be careful. When you develop the Mettā, although if the mind can become concentrated, it also comes with peacefulness, it comes with tranquility, it comes with calm, and also it can come with some degree of joy and happiness, and so on. So all these things, please don't get attached to it. They are nice to have. This is not your end product. Your end product is make sure that your Mettā is keep going until, hopefully until jhana. So all the calmness and so on, this is the good side effect of it, but don't go and attach to it. So the mind becomes concentrated. Number 9. One's facial complexion is serene. This one is also another one. Because yang Aisui, they love to be beautiful. So they practice Mettā. This is also another one. I've heard this before, that some of the devotees would tell other devotees, I overheard that, you want to become beautiful, practice Mettā. Then that Mettā becomes the end product. You all also become there's old and beautiful also. Complexion is serene. Here, the Mettā thing, it also depends on your karma. It also depends on the years of time that you have put into it. I don't think that 1 month that you practice, your complexion will start to change a lot. Don't put it too high. It takes time, this complexion, to change. Yes, it will change for the better. Yes. Because why? It changed your mind state. It changed how you think. It changed how you put your words and your actions and so on. And over time, when all these things change, your complexion also change. Yes, I've seen people who have a very hostile nature in the past because of the Dhamma they developed, and also because of the Mettā that they developed and Brahma Viharas, and they become kinder, more compassionate and so on. Over time, their faces becomes much more serene and much more pleasing to look at. Yes, it takes time. It does not take just a retreat or two. And also, just because that next time you see somebody's face is serene, don't go and think that the person developed Mettā too, that person can be a very horrible person, can be a devil, but it looks serene. Because of the past karma that they have developed, a nice face, good looking face, very serene face, because in the past life, they have a lot of calmness and generosity. They have done compassionate work and so on. And then in this life, then their face is serene. But in this life, because they have not connected with the Dhamma or connected to any form of spirituality, or they connected with all kinds of wrong people, and then they can be very rough and they can be very decent, but their face looks very serene. I've met a gangster, a gangster, and the face is quite good looking and serene, but nevertheless, that gangster also become a monk, At one time, I saw him, he become a monk, and it looks okay. Then after that, of course, it back to the way again. I've seen this drug addict also who came to help. I tried to help him in meditation when I was up in the hill. He was a drug addict. He became a monk, sincerely became a monk, and he tried to practice. But of course, with the past, he tried and so on. But his mind is quite a bit difficult to meditate because of I think maybe because of his past addiction and breaking the fifth precept. There's a lot of consequences and how he developed the mindfulness and development of the mind. So because of that, I think that when he became a monk, he tried to meditate. And he tried to do a lot of good deeds also, not because of a monk. He abandons his way of old ways and so on. And after a number of years, you can see that his face becomes much more serene, much more calmer. But after that, just too bad. Later on, when we were staying in different places, and then that particular monk, all his bad friends came back again, and then, starts to influence him again, all kinds of, starts to steal from the monastery or the places that we were staying and so on, and things like that. After that, go involved in all certain petty thefts or crime, and then got caught by the police and so on. So too bad, So the face changes. I can see that the face changes because of the Dhamma there. So it takes time for the complexion to become more serene. So it does not take so fast. So number 10, one dies unconfused because of that mindfulness of Mettā that you develop together with it. This mindfulness to make the mind alert and knowing. At least it helps you at the end of your life to keep your mind alert. I'm not sure how you're going to die, but at least at the last moment, your mind, at least there's some kind of clarity is there, not affected by all kinds of defilements. Sometimes we do not know how we're going to die. We do not know whether we're going to die in coma or car accident or by the bedside, or whether we are taking certain medication and then it makes the mind groggy and so on. We do not know how the mind is going to work. But because of your development of your Mettā and also mindfulness, there's some degree that is going to help you to change you, that your mind is free from all this type of wrong thinking at the end of our life. So sometimes when I go to meet with people that sometimes we chant that to them, the end of their life already, and I've seen these things once in a while. I've seen these things at the end of their life. Then when they're almost dying, they're crying, their attachment, and then mind very confused, do not know where they are, and so on. Although they are still alert and active, in that sense. As I say, well, if this life they were to have some Dhamma, not to say Mettā, but have some Dhamma, have done some generosity, have developed their Sila and so on, then when it comes to the time of dying, at least some of this generosity or the heart of generosity to still want to do some dana and so on, when those things come up, the mind feel happy, feel joyful. Sometimes when you see these people when they are dying, if they have the heart of Dhamma, when they see the monk, they still want to offer something. They want to offer a robe, they want to offer a drink, they want to offer something because those things make them happy. Why? Because of their past habit that they have developed. Then even at the end of their life, they still have the heart of doing dana. So at least when they die happily. Or so, unconfused, in that sense. So when you have Mettā, when you have developed this Brahma Vihara, it will be very good because it helps the mind when the time of dying. Now, number 11, if one does not penetrate further, one fares on to the Brahma world. What does not penetrate further? Further here means Nibbana, liberation out of samsara. Or in this sense, is arahantship. So if you don't get arahantship, perhaps when you die, you're reborn in the Brahma world. The Hokkien says, "Bo hu he man ho." If you get my this one, it's hard to translate. Anyway, the thing is that the development of you develop until jhana, and you have proficiency in the jhana, and that jhana can bring you all the way to the Brahma world. Not just only the Deva world, but the Brahma world. So the Brahma world is a world that your mind is free from all these hindrances. You can free from all hindrances. You live for a long period of time. You can still able to practice there. Not to say cannot. So anyway, hopefully when we reach number 11, hopefully we don't have to go to Brahma world. We try to finish it in this life, try to finish it as much as we could in this life. Nevertheless, if you practice this development of this Mettā, and let's say you don't have jhana also or enlightenment also, but at least it's a wholesome mind. A wholesome mind will give rise to wholesome rebirth. A happy rebirth. Give rise to a happy rebirth. So this is the 11 benefits for this one. So try not to become misconceived, because this misconceived has a lot to do with our craving and our desire. Okay, So this is about it. So we'll talk another topic on Wednesday.